while now. I was self-paced, so it took me a bit of time to get to this point in the program. I took breaks on and off, life situations, but I'm glad to be, here, and I'm glad that I've managed to reach this stage thanks to the help that I received from all the mentors at Woz U, and the people who are on Slack. I got a lot of help from everybody. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas. It's 4:37. My project is a solo project, so it took me a bit of time to get it to where it is right now. Just a heads up, it's work in progress, but I think where I've reached now, it probably be good for you guys to see what I have. The summary of the project. This is it's kind of a solution for the name of the project is Theater Max. Now Theater Max is just theater maximization of a theater being an OR. I decided to do a project on this because I've worked in an OR before, and the main issues that we had in an OR mostly included delays in scheduling patients for procedures, basically because of lack of either personnel or lack of an OR that is able to do something of the sort. So this was just a project that was aimed at, theoretically solving that problem. So Theater Max is just a program that is going to help providers cut patient waiting time short by finding an OR or ORs within a jurisdiction, a given jurisdiction, say maybe a medical district. And this is between different organizations, different hospitals. It doesn't have to be one health system. A good example is maybe if I use a city, say, I don't know about Arizona, but I know we have maybe Maricopa County, yes. And then within Maricopa County, you have different health systems. You have Methodist, you have the county safety net hospital, and all those hospitals, they can come together and utilize or maximize the space they have for cutting short patient waiting times just by rotating their doctors and rotating their nurses and rotating their anesthetists or other personnel that are involved in a patient or procedures, and also rotating the resources they have. So if say hospital A in Maricopa County is full up and the OR is fully booked for the whole week, then the doctor who is in charge of a patient Felix, can book patient Felix for procedure in a different hospital within Maricopa County using this program and get his procedure done. Instead of waiting for a month to do his procedure, he can get his procedure done within the week. And the Felix's doctor can also recruit or can also contract an anesthetist from any hospital within Maricopa County, as long as they're registered and they're licensed to practice in Maricopa County, to come and be the anesthetist for that procedure. He can also contract a nurse, and he can also contract an OR assistant to come and get the procedure done. That way the patient doesn't have to wait. The provider gets his procedure done. The hospital, which was full up, ends up reducing its backlog, and the hospital which did not have any patients and had an empty OR sitting idle is gets to use its OR. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start. That's a summary of what Theater Max is about. The technologies I used front end, React, JS, and I decided to use a little help from Core IU, and Core IU is a library, and the React Strap. React Strap is also a library that I imported, among others. within React. We got a Formic, we got a for the forms, and then we got a different React libraries that helped me come up with this. So my dashboard is mostly from Core UI and React Strap. Okay, so here I go. So this application is designed to have multiple users, but those multiple users are divided into two groups. You are a service provider, that being a doctor or an anesthetist or a nurse or an OR assistant or a surgical tech or anybody who is a service provider of some sort. And then the other half is an administrator for a facility. So are you a facility who has an OR that is idle, or are you a facility that has an OR or ORs that are fully booked and they're full up and you need to offload some cases? So those are the two groups that this app is designed to help. So I decided to put the two logins in one just for purposes of demonstration. But in an ideal situation, a provider would be able to log in just as a provider, and a facility will be able to log in just as a facility. That's why I have those two. Sorry, there's some kind of noise at the back.
You can have your Cheerios.
Hello? There's some noise in the background. All right, so I'll go ahead. So let me start again. We have two kinds of logins. So if I am say, because most ORs or most OR departments in the hospitals have a director of surgical services who's in charge of the ORs, I'd sign in as the facility administrator. So this will be my login. But if I'm a provider, which I'm going to focus on today, I'll sign in as a provider right there. And I'm just going to use a user and password. 1, 2, 3 to sign in. So that's my sign in. I can sign in right there, and it will take me to my dashboard. I'll just log out to show you how the registration looks like. I can also register once the organization signs a contract with a provider saying that you can use our ORs for your backlog of cases, or you can bring your patients to our ORs. Then the provider can download the app, or the facility can get the app and get registered. So it's the same thing. So say if I'm a new provider, I'm a new doctor that I want to use the facility or use the app, then I would register from here. I'd put in my full names, say maybe Felix Wafula, MD, and then I would put my email, say at gmail.com. And then I would designate myself. Am I a physician? Am I a nurse? Am I a technologist? Am I a technician? Am I other clinical, or am I other non-clinical personnel? Because depending on which position I play in the management team, I need to select. Say maybe I'm a physician, and I'm the general surgeon. Then I have a whole list of specialties that a provider can select from. Say maybe I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon, or I'm an interventional radiologist, or I'm an OBGY. So I'll go with general surgery. I'm a general surgeon. And then I'll put my address, Medical Drive. I'll say maybe I stay in I'll say it's Maricopa. I don't know which city, which major city is in Maricopa County. I decided to use that as an example. I'm sorry. Say maybe I'll just say San Antonio, in the state of Texas, and my zip code. Put it in there. I'll put in my practice license number, say maybe 4567123, and then I will say if my license is active, and then I'll put my national provider identification number there, and it's active. and I'm licensed to practice in Alabama, in Massachusetts, sorry, my bad, Alabama, control. I can practice in Arizona, I can practice in Idaho, I can practice in Mississippi, and I can practice in Washington, D.C. and Texas, the Lone Star State. Where are you? Okay, so basically I can select multiple states that I'm registered to license into, I'm licensed to practice into, and then I can upload my credentials here. So say maybe I have my license that I need to scan in there, or whichever documentation that the organization will need or the facility will need, I can upload them here. So I can choose all my files from here, upload them into my profile, right? So maybe I can use this one for the meantime. And then I can click register. So this, once I click register, I'm supposed to be able to put this information in a database of providers. And then whatever data that needs to be retrieved from that database can be got from there. I didn't want to go into all this because I had to create a big database for that, but I didn't want to start creating a database for providers. I just wanted to use this to show you guys how a provider registers. Same thing goes for a facility. Supposing the facility has just procured this app and they want to start, serving their clients or helping doctors serve their clients faster, they can also register as a facility, say maybe Copper County Hospitals. And then I'll say, what kind of facility am I, am I limited liability, probably hospital district, that's Maricopa County there. And then I'll give the authorized administrators full names and details. I'll probably say Mr. Smith, John, and then I would say authorized email would be maybe Wafula Felix, sorry, John Smith at gmail.com. So basically the credentials again, yeah. Say maybe he's the chief executive officer, but preferably we're dealing with the director of nurse surgical services here. And his clearance, is his senior level management, is his supervisory, I'll say maybe senior level management. Then we'll say maybe the address of the hospital, the business address of the hospital. This is in maybe Scottsdale, Arizona. Say maybe Magic Drive. Delete that in Scottsdale, and the state will be Arizona. So I can basically register the facility from here, put a postal code there, and then the hospital license, the hospital EIN, and what kind of specialties the hospital does. If some hospitals are specialized in general, some do general and obstetric. You can select as many as you can. You just hold down control and you can select the different kinds of, or you can just say all or other or not applicable, depending on what kind of OR you're registering, and you register. That goes into a database that is designed to keep information about the facilities. So that's the registration part. I'll go back and log in. Okay. So now we're just going to focus on the provider part because this is what really ate my time up, and I decided let me just present this particular part because then it will be able to I'll be able to demonstrate how it works. So as I said again, front end, I just use the React.js with the core IU library and the React Strap and a bunch of other React libraries. For my API, I decided to use a Spring Boot API, and you can see it right here. That's my Spring Boot API. Okay, go back to that. So I'll log in as a user. Password. I'll log in. So this is my dashboard. As a provider, this is what I'm supposed to see. If I'm an administrator, I will see a different dashboard. It will be different. If I am logging in as the OR, the head of the OR, the in charge of the OR, this dashboard will be different. If I'm logging in as a nurse, this dashboard will be different. If I'm logging in as an anesthetist, you know, depending on what kind of user I'm logging in, this will be different. Yeah. So, but this is basically what a physician would be seeing. And the beauty about this dashboard is that, you know, it incorporates a lot of data analysis. Maybe the guys from data science would you know, help me with this, but I just put this here to show that it's possible to monitor your progress, your cases that you've been doing on a daily basis. This is a daily basis from Monday to Monday, first week, to Monday, second week, to Monday, third week, to Sunday, fourth week. That's the day, that's the month. You can download from the cloud or from the database your statistics and see, you know, which cases were uneventful and successful. Say maybe I scored a 70% on this particular month, or I'm scoring 70% currently. And then which cases did I do that I had, you know, intraoperative complications that, did we have to resuscitate the patient? And was the patient resuscitated, you know? So it gives me a couple of you know, give me information about how many cases I had problems with. It tells me how many patients died on the table. That's what you see as intra-op mortalities. And it tells me how many patients were successfully operated but died after the procedure that I did. In this case, I'm doing 5% of my patients died, 5% of my patients died on the table, 5% died, you know, maybe they got an embolus in the ward or in the hospital room, or something happened, or they went to ICU from the OR and they didn't make it. And then this tells me how many cases were emergencies that I had to rush the patient to the OR. So this is basically just a statistical analysis of my month. How rough has it been this month, or how successful has it been as a surgeon? And then the main table here, the title is district, but you can change this to Maricopa County, you know, as a placeholder, Maricopa County operating room tracking. So these are all the ORs that have signed up for the app in Maricopa County. Say maybe there's a hospital on the west side, one in the east side, and they have two. These are identification numbers for the ORs. We have one in the south side, one in the north. We have a central one. We have the headquarters. We have one in downtown, and these are the identification numbers of the ORs. So the identification number, you know, it's a unique number. It's like the key for the OR. Now, some hospitals will have more than 10 ORs. Some hospitals will only have one OR. Some will be day surgery centers. That doesn't matter. I can say maybe Hospital X has 5 ORs. I'll in the facility, I will register as a Hospital X OR1, and it will still be number 1. Hospital X OR2 will be number 2. Hospital X OR3 will be number 3, like that. So it's still, you can populate as many ORs as you want here. Okay, so from facility and the OR number, we have the scheduled cases for the day. So this table is showing me as a physician what's going on in Maricopa County District in the ORs. So Hospital X in the west side, OR number 1, has a bunch of scheduled cases. It has ORIF is an orthopedic procedure. Maybe it's somebody fractured their leg and is being fixed. That's what ORIF stands for, open reduction. and internal fixation. And the case is supposed to start at 6. And then they have a knee replacement that is starting at midday. They have a hip replacement that's going to start at 4. They have a hernia that needs to be fixed at 6. And they have a resection anastomos that needs to be fixed at 11. So this just tells me and gives me an overview of what's going on in that OR. And if I want to book a spot, I can click on book a spot, and that's supposed to give me a different window that I can use to enter data, just a form, enter data and say, okay, fine. Do you guys have a spot on such and such a day? So in the form, you'll have a, a data placeholder where I can click and it brings me a calendar. I say, okay, fine, maybe I want to book my case for tomorrow because you guys are full up today. Or I book my case for tomorrow and then they will approve. So I am just, when I book a case, I am just sending the information to the administrator of the OR and I'm asking that administrator, is your OR available for this case, for my case? And they will tell me, okay, fine, I can slot you in for 5 p.m. or I can slot you in for 12 a.m. And they will show me that right here. So all the cases that I've booked, so maybe I was booking for an ACL, when I have a patient who has a knee problem and they need an ACL done, I've booked it for, sorry, this is supposed to be May 30th. I put April 30th when I was working on it. I haven't changed it since that time. But I'd book my ACL for April 30th. And that will change to booked. From booked, it will change to booked once I do that. But it will, this current case is what is going on right now in that operating room. So remember, I had a hernia that needed to be done. There was a hernia that was scheduled to be done in that OR. This is the hernia that's going on right there. And it was being done on May 21st, today. And this one here tells me what kind of case it was. This is a patient who had a hernia done before and the doctor is revising it. As a provider, it tells me what kind of case, it gives me a rough idea of what kind of cases it is. Is it a complicated case or is it a new case? Some new cases tend to be take a little more time, so I can gauge. A revision case would most of the time take a shorter time because the doctor is just going in to fix something that went wrong and get him out. So it will help me estimate this time here. Yeah, how much time do I think this guy was going to take? So maybe Dr. Smith was operating on a patient, John, fixing his hernia, and they started at 6, and the estimated finish time was 10 o'clock, and it was a revision. Maybe Dr. Smith can do that in 2 hours, in an hour. So he'd probably be done with it by 7. But if it was a new case, maybe it was complicated, I'd probably go well beyond 10 o'clock. Yeah. So if it's not complete, this will be false because it's not complete. Sorry about this. But this would give me the progress. This is a timed progress bar that would give me a rough estimate of how far the procedure has gone. So if they started at 6 and maybe it's 8 o'clock and the estimated time is 10 o'clock, then this bar would be at 50%. But if it's past 10 and they did it and they finished it, then this will be a full bar. Yeah. So this tells me what's going on in hospital OR number 1. And then maybe in the east side, I'm trying to see, okay, what's going on there? Somebody's back is being fixed. They're doing a laminectomy. That's they're trying to fix a back problem. Maybe this guy has a sciatica, and they're trying to adjust his discs in his spine to fix it. And it's a new case, and it's scheduled today. So all these cases are scheduled today in different ORs, as you can see there, and so on and so on and so on. So I can check what's going on in downtown. That's what's going to go on downtown. I can check what's going on in the north side, and then I get a rough idea of what the cases are there. So that informs me what kind of case I need to book, and it informs me as a doctor when to book that case. Is my patient, a diabetic that needs to be operated in the morning? Diabetics are normally operated first thing in the morning when their sugars are under control. So if I have a slot for a morning OR, then I can slot in my diabetic patients there. If I have a slot for a procedure that's going to take a while, maybe like a bone knee replacement, it'll take a while. So those are my cases. Now, this is a general board. Now I'll go to my cases now. What kind of cases have I scheduled for the month or for the week? These are my cases. These are the cases that I want to do. So these are my patients that I need to schedule. So this is a list of all the patients that I need to schedule. And I got my little dates there telling me when I can schedule it. Then say maybe I have my patient John Brown and I need to fix his testis. And I have my assistant ready. I have my anesthetist ready, and everything is ready. If I want to see the details of the procedure, I just click on details. It will take me to the patient's details. And I can read, this is John Brown, this is his picture right there. I can check what kind of allergies he has there. And then I can check, I can read about him. Yeah, okay, John Brown is, male, this is biodata. I can look at his medical history there. And I can look at the diagnosis or the problem list. Okay, fine, he's non-diabetic, hypertensive, he's had a heart attack before, he had a knee replacement 2 years ago, all those details will be here. I can look at the labs, as far back as I can. Okay, I can look at the x-rays. I can look at the medication list that he is on, and this will inform me if I need to change anything here. So I can edit the case. So maybe, as I said earlier on, I'm using the example of a diabetic who needs to be operated in the morning. And then I say, okay, fine, no, I cannot do this procedure. I can cancel it. Yeah. I can cancel it there. And then I'll have to alert the team that I've canceled this procedure. Or, I can replace this slot with somebody else because I cannot do this case today. Yeah. Or I can update. Maybe I typed in the wrong patient and say, okay, fine, maybe it was Jerry Green, and he was 35. And then I can submit that update. And as you see, it's changed. So my case number 2 has changed from John Brown to Jerry Green. The details are there. Now, Jerry Green's details are there now. His medical history, his diagnosis, his labs, his imaging, his medication list. Okay, so back to my cases. Once I say I don't have, say maybe, okay, let's look at Gwen. Gwen is a good example. Say maybe Gwen has not consented to the procedure. I can bump her down, or I can remove her from the list. So I've removed my case number 5 from the list. Who else has not consented? Alvarez, Chiquito has not consented to the procedure. I can remove them from the list. I canceled Amuga, so I can remove him from the list. Second. I can do all those things. I can add a patient. I can cancel a patient. I can edit a patient. So if I want to add a new case, maybe I'm done for the day, and then the day is not over yet. I can add a patient. I can say maybe I'm adding a Felix Jr. Doctors are not supposed to operate on their kids. Say Felix Jr. is maybe 4 years old and he fell down. He broke his arm. Patient number. So we're going to fix his arm. And we want to fix his arm, say maybe on the 24th. I've booked my assistant, maybe Dr. Brady is my assistant, and next is going to be Dr. Love, and my nurse is going to be Millicent. All this team I'll show you where I'm going to recruit my teams from, but I'm just giving you an overview. And this procedure is ready to go. I can submit that. As you can see, Felix Jr. is there. He's on my list, and I can book him for an OR on my dashboard, depending on where or which facility comes up. Yeah. Let me go back here. So my assistant, my anesthetist, and my nurse, where am I getting them from? I'm going to the providers This is my profile. This is me. Yeah. But my provider profile is here. So this gives me a list of my providers. Yeah. That's me right there. I have a provider called Help. I have Stellar, Sleepy MD, Nelly Nell, and Sarah Sarai. Sarah was deregistered, so I cannot use her. So this list gives me all the people that have signed up for this thing within Maricopa County, and those people who are licensed to use the facilities. And those who are active, I can go ahead and look at them and say, okay, fine. I've never met Help before, but I'm seeing he's a first surgical assistant registered. His status is active. Is good to go. This information is the facility or the registering or the oversight body that's giving me this information from the database that this guy is good to go. He can assist you in the procedure if you don't have anybody to help you. And this is Help about him, his education, his credentials, his qualifications, the experience he's had, how many procedures he's done so far, his licensing and certifications, and his accolades as he, what he's achieved so far. So this gives me the information on, if I feel that I need Help to help me for the procedure, I can get them from there. Stella has been suspended, so I cannot use her. Yeah. And Sleepy Sleep is an anesthetist, but he's on vacation, so he's inactive. So that's where I'm getting my providers from. Then I also have my patients here. Ideally, this is supposed to give me a list of patients, the allergies that they have, and I can, book my patients from here, from my clinic. Say maybe I'm running a surgical clinic today afternoon, and I want to book guys, and I'll use this to book my patients, and they will pop up here on my cases, and then I can book my cases. Maybe normally surgeons have particular days that they do their clinics, and they have particular days that they do their surgeries, because surgeries take the whole day. So maybe if I saw my clinic patients on Monday, all the patients that I've booked for surgery would populate on this list. And then all these cases I can decide to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, depending on how I get my ORs here on this list. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. My database, I'm using H2 because I decided to use Spring Boot H2, and I'm using for my security, I decided to use a JSON Web Token. So H2 was more favorable for me to use as a database. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys understand, any questions, any answers?
Felix, I gotta tell you, I'm blown away.
Thank you.
The crowd went wild. Did you hear the applause you got over on this side?
I didn't hear the applause.
They're going wild for you.
Okay, I see it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That was awesome. I gotta tell you, the time that you must have put into this is got to be astronomical. I am thoroughly impressed. How did you come up with this?
Yeah, I was born in Kenya, my home country, and I practiced medicine there for a while before I came to the States. I was not a surgeon, but that was my dream. Then I realized that I don't like clinical work, and I didn't like the blood. So when I came here, I said I'm not going to work in an OR again. But I've always had a passion for trying to create systems that help people in the OR, because we have been having backlogs of cases, even in Kenya. Even here, the few ORs I've worked in, I've seen people being put on the surgical list, just staying in hospital for weeks waiting for the procedure to be done at the end of the month. And so I felt that, this is something that I would, try and build, something that I want to start, as simple as it is. If it can get some momentum, it can help patients, and it can help providers. It can help providers cut waiting time for their patients. It can help patients get their procedures done early. The insurance companies will not be paying a lot of money, for nothing. Hospitals which don't have ORs can always get in and get ORs from other hospitals within the jurisdiction, say Maricopa County. Hospitals which are full up and their backlogs can always send their patients to other hospitals that don't have patients. They have empty OR sitting there that need to be utilized. And the people who are, the providers who are out there, they can do procedures, but they don't have patients, then they can help other providers. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. It took me, I started this project in January, because I was supposed to finish in December, and I was doing the project concurrently with my, as I was doing it off the fly. As I learned React, I started the project, I started my front end like that. And then as I do Java, I started building my API like that. So it's been something that I've been doing as I go, as I progress. So because I have been on the self-paced, it's been an on and off thing. So it's taken me a couple of months. It's 5 months now, pretty much. And it's not done yet. So, but it's what I got right now.
Well, I can't wait to see the finished product. What were 2 of your biggest challenges?
Well, with Java, I had to learn a couple of things. Especially because in the field, in the healthcare field, security is a big issue. I found myself delving more into security, but I don't think I gave it my all. But at least I caught on to JSON Web Tokens, and I figured that would be adequate for this system right now the way it is. So I used JSON Web Tokens to secure it. That was a challenge. My other challenge was choosing the database. Choosing the database has been hell. That's what has really consumed my time. I tried using SQLite. Things didn't work out. It crashed the thing. I had to put the API down and start from scratch again, build the API. But with a lot of, I've been looking at stuff on Udemy, as you can see there. I've been getting assistance from people who are online, and they've been helping me try, figure out what kind of database to use. So I came to the realization that the kind of API you use pretty much will dictate what kind of database you're going to use. And I got stuck with H2 and JPA. It gave me problems. It still gives me problems because there's still I'm still trying to sort out how to put the token, the JSON Web Token in the header and send it to the database and retrieve the information that I need. That's why I only did one set of data for my cases. Otherwise, if I had fixed the problem, I would have been able to do a database for my providers, and I would have been able to do a database for my cases. I would have been able to do a database for this, and all the cases that I've booked. So those are the main challenges that I had. And I also initially React had been a problem earlier for me when I was doing React in the first time. I really struggled with React. I had to go back and do the whole module again. I had done the older module in 2018. I think that's when you guys refreshed it. And so I did the new module. And then I realized that I had to do JavaScript first before I understood React, especially Ajax. And I had to go back and do JavaScript again. So that's how I ended up, catching on React the way it is. Those are my challenges. Yeah.
You answered my next question, so I'm going to end with, why did you choose to come to Woz U? And now that you've graduated, what are your goals?
Okay. So this was my situation in 2017. I actually started Woz U in November 2017. Then I took a break, and then they put me on self-paced, and it was like a 6-month hiatus, 6 or 7 months that I wasn't there. I just came back recently in November 2018, something like that, September 2018. My wife had a baby in 2017, and at that time, I was, I was in between jobs, and I was trying to teach myself how to program, and I realized that I don't have any structure around it. And so I came by Woz U Online. At that time, I think there was Coder camps. And when I got into Coder camps, they told me, okay, fine, we can give you structure that you can use to learn, and you get help, because if you're learning on your own, there's so many things that you miss, and it's something you take for granted. You don't have a guide. So that's how I got into Woz U, because I was looking for a structured way of learning how to write web applications. And so far, it's been really good to me. I really appreciate the kind of help I've gotten online. I had my first mentor was Chris, the one who was an Uber driver, and then he switched to. That was my first mentor, and he really encouraged me, because at that time I was in between jobs and I was doing Uber myself. So he told me, don't worry about that, just do your Uber, but just make sure you hit me up every week. And I used to hit him up every week, and he really helped me. And then I changed my mentors. I had I think it was Ronald in Java, who helped me a lot.
Yep.
And then there was this young lady, I've forgotten her name, but I think she was there for a short time. She really helped me too. I had a lot of help. And then there were all those guys who were online that you just throw in a question over there on Slack, and somebody hits you up and you're in there. And all the mentors who have been on Slack all this time, they've helped me a lot. So Woz U has been good to me.
Very good. Well, I certainly appreciate you taking your time and, joining us today and presenting this to us. I myself don't have any other questions. Ammon, are you online with us? And do you have any questions for Felix?
No. Felix is he's kind of did his own thing.
Hey, Ammon, how are you?
Doing great. I just kind of got out of the way. Right?
I know I used to bug you in the middle of the night, and you never used to reply to me. So, but you used to reply eventually, even if it was after 2 hours or 3 hours. I used to get your response. Thank you for your help, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. I just tried to stay out of your way and let you do your thing and help out wherever, if I even was helpful at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm kind of a night owl, because I like working when the kids are asleep. So my hours were crazy, but I thank you for helping me.
Yeah. While you've been demoing your product, I've been digging through your GitHub repository more, just for kicks.
Yeah.
And you've made something pretty incredible.
Thank you.
Right? And it's very, very well thought out and structured.
Thank you.
Which is a difficult thing to do, especially for a single person.
Oh yeah, it took me a while, especially the API. I think I redid that API almost 20 times.
Yeah, and it just shows how much you care about it, right? How passionate you are about what you're doing. You can see that in the end result.
Thank you.
Which is great. So if I've been any part of that at all, I feel fantastic.
Thank you. You've been a big
I'm sure
part
you
of it.
feel 10 times more fantastic for this. And like you said, you want to continue it and keep on growing it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it to wherever it can get. It's out there in the open now. It's on GitHub. Anybody who wants to throw in something can throw in.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a cool thing. That's the goal, right?
So Felix, one of our guests in the room and viewing this says her sister works in labor and delivery and says that this would be very helpful. So
yeah.
You may have to reach out to Tanya Roberts.
Tanya Roberts. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I'd reach out. Is she on Slack?
Yes, I'm sure she is on Slack. She is actually one of our tech residents.
Okay. I'll reach out to her on Slack. Tanya Roberts, thank you.
Yeah, Tanya, hope you don't mind me saying that, but I just saw your message and thought that was pretty cool that you would mention that. So I wanted to brighten up Felix's day even more.
No, it's fine. Yeah, she works as a nurse, actually. She's going for her LPN right now. So hearing stories from her, this is definitely something that would be super useful, because trying to schedule an anesthesiologist, I believe, and all that other stuff to coordinate the delivery, I've heard can be a big nightmare. So this is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it can be tough. I've worked in that environment before, and half the time it was crazy. Like, oh, we need this, we need that, we don't have this. Where is this? Okay, they're like 20 miles away. Like, okay, fine. Can they just come here? Oh no, they can't come because So if they have something like this that you can wake up in the morning and look at a board and say, fine, in the jurisdiction we can do ABCD during the day. We end up, everybody wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tanya, thank you very much for the input and jumping on. Felix, thank you once again from myself and Career Services and everybody on and viewing this. This was fascinating, and I appreciate you taking your time and going through and explaining everything to us and showing this all to us. We do have another group following you here in just a few minutes, so I would ask you to please, stay online if you are able to, and joining us and watching what the next group does have to present. Okay. But I'm certainly looking forward to working with you and seeing what you can do because this is pretty fascinating.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. You have a great rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. I'll go on mute now. Stop share.
It had me go after our first act there. No, that's going to be like something that, man, we can't live up to that kind of hype. We came up with a sort of like an allrecipes.com sort of alternative site, if you will. Ours was, we took a more stripped down approach to ours with the idea that it would be a web-based app, but it would be geared towards more mobile devices, but with the idea being that since most people are in their kitchens, with their recipes and everything, most people don't have laptops or even desktops in their kitchen. So most people are doing it from their phone. So the idea was to make a more readable, stripped down version of allrecipes.com and kind of geared towards also sort of like elderly folks. So, I put an emphasis on readability and colors that are more friendly to the eye, because that's something that, I don't like about allrecipes.com site is how aggressive their color scheme tends to be. Like large expanses of white are kind of hard on the eye. And if Ash, you got the site up and ready?
Yep.
Okay. So
I guess I'll share.
There we go. So yes, ours is a main stack application. We had a ton of hurdles putting this thing together, actually, from just about every aspect. First of all, none of us had ever experienced Angular client, because I know for myself personally, whenever I've been at this program for 2.5 years, just because I have to work so much just to get by out here in Austin, which is a very expensive city. So anyways, whenever I learned Angular, which is probably a couple years ago, it was a very different version to Angular client, which we were exposed to. And so there's a major learning curve there. But once we kind of figured out how to build inside of that and route everything, more importantly, we were okay. But we spent a lot of time researching and just overcoming obstacles. So our project isn't as fleshed out as we would have liked to have been, but it does work, and we're very proud of that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we have a sign in. Like the idea was to not only create something that was friendly to the eye and a more stripped down experience where you're getting just the information you need in the viewport, but also it's supposed to be user driven content with the heavy bent towards that. So every user can supply their own recipes, replete with pictures and optional videos.
Yeah, I had image upload, but it was just, it kept breaking and I ended up having to take it out. but it's all connected to a database. The posts are saved, and you can delete them.
And due to saving time, when building out the menu, we kind of stripped down our menu down to very basic elements like appetizers, main dishes, beverages, etc. But we figured we didn't get a chance to do this, but we were going to build in a search, a built-in search for it. That way we could locate items by either recipe name or category and ingredients. Again, we didn't get a chance to do that. And we were going to have our database kind of populate the subcategory pages.
Yeah, there were several obstacles that came up, and the functionality is there, or not functionality, but the framework is there, but
yeah,
the functionality isn't just yet.
So the, it technically has legs. It just it just needs content, but it's there and it works. So, I mean, if there's any questions or anything, go ahead.
How about sharing your code, showing us how you came up with everything?
Sure.
Yeah, it is right here. So this is for the post create. And this is with Angular 7, and then for the post list, it has its service, and I did not make the carousel, so
Yeah, I built the carousel. It was actually I always had a hard time getting the carousel from NPM to work. So one of my former mentors turned me on to a little library called slick.js, and it's wonderful. I like it so much better. It's more flexible in terms of how it can present things. So yeah, I wound up using it in one of my other previous projects, and I like it a lot. It also kind of it tends to use a smaller footprint too compared to NPM's version.
Can you guys go back to the site? So on this, if I type in a recipe name, say I want keto peanut butter cookies, will that bring up a recipe for me?
Well, we don't have a search engine, so
right.
But I mean, if you wanted to add that, you could.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's more for saving your own recipes.
Right, but eventually was your idea for me to be able to type that in, or
yes.
Easy lasagna or something like that, or making lasagna?
Correct. Yes.
So I could type that in if somebody had a recipe for lasagna, it would be there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I like that. How do you guys feel that if you would have had 2 more weeks to do this, how much or what else would you have done?
So much more, as much as we possibly could.
Yeah, we do have the code for signing up and logging in. but I just wasn't able to get it integrated with the actual posting in time. So that would probably be the first thing I worked on. And also image uploading. Like I said, I have the code for. I had it working last week, and then right before, like a couple days ago, it just started going nuts, and I had to take it out. So that would be the next thing I work on.
Yeah, this last week has just been chock full of gremlins. Like, we just had all sorts of problems just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so you could put a picture right here and then save it with the post, and it would be down there.
Yeah,
Actually,
we did have that working initially, and then it decided it didn't want to work anymore.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
Ashley, why do you think that was? Did you ever figure out what the problem was?
Kind of. I think it has something to do with, well, this is the working code. I have it saved somewhere else, but I think it had something to do with the way it was being saved, maybe. A mom was trying to help me with it yesterday, and we had it working for a little while, and then I was trying to change something else on the form, and it broke again, and I just put my hands up and took it out because that was just too much.
Yeah, I can say it's definitely been you guys have definitely gone through a journey.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
It seems that you built your app, and then it kind of broke itself, then you built it, then it broke itself, then you fixed it, then it broke itself, then you fixed it, and it broke itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Multiple times over, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you were trying to make a boat out of pasta or something.
Yeah,
That's the best analogy possible for.
And that kind of works, and then yeah. See, I've had the benefit of seeing all of the working parts, so I can say, like, I know what worked and I know what wasn't there, and I can tell you, like, you have a lot of pieces and a lot of cool stuff made that works like 99%, and it's just that one little weird quirk that keeps it from like working how you want it to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That can be extremely frustrating sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's why we like asking the question of, if you had a little bit more time, and like if you had all the time in the world, of course it would work.
Yeah.
But working under deadlines and constraints, sometimes you have to make do or shelve things if they don't work quite all the way.
Right.
Yep.
Because we spend so much time researching everything, all of our roles, to figure out how to make everything work.
Yeah, that would probably have to be one of the biggest challenges, because, a month and a half ago, none of us knew each other.
Right.
And, we had all had different journeys going through the program. And so coming together and then deciding what to do, and then researching, finding out, how what we already knew about it applied, if it did, if it didn't, I know that was a big problem for me, at least.
How did you guys divide up the responsibilities? That you guys, there were 5 of you in the group. How did you guys divide everything up?
I more or less kind of spearheaded everything, I guess. I knew what my personal strengths were, because I come from a graphic design background. So doing the UI kind of made sense for me to do. And so I kind of delegated the rest of the tasks to everyone else, and everyone else seemed to kind of agree with me that that's what they would do. So that I made sure that no one was under too much strain and stress with their given parts, because I tried to help everyone out with anything that they had.
So you kind of led the group, kind of the Scrum Master role?
Scrum Master for the first week, but we all, of course, we all were Scrum Master at one point or another. But but I guess underneath, I was still more or less the leader of things, I guess. So I've also been a carpenter and a foreman, so I'm kind of used to overseeing things and building things. So that kind of knowledge I was just sort of able to apply here too.
Yeah.
Don, what was your role?
My role was the I created code for the JW tokens and the OAuth, where you can log in through GitHub.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I know, especially kind of watching you guys from an outside role, there was definitely some problems getting all of the GitHub code centralized together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the difficulties, getting it to merge.
Oh, yeah.
Getting all the branches to merge together.
Yep.
Because initially we all had it where individually we had everything up and running individually, but then when they getting it to merge together, that's when the problem just grew exponentially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ammon, what recommendation could you give them for the future to have done something differently?
That's a good question.
I stumped you?
Yeah, even some of the GitHub stuff I kind of struggled on.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get stuff integrated, right? A lot of the journey of a project phase is sometimes it's kind of freedom of being able to make those kind of mistakes. Just learning how difficult things can be, or maybe things to be cautious of, or
Yeah.
kind of trial by fire kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely trial by
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where some things, or learning how difficult it can be to work as a team, and kind of some pitfalls, or how to do better next time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's the thing too, is I can almost guarantee that if I put you guys through another 6-week group project, your next project will be 10 times better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, because now you know all the things that you kind of predict, and be like, all right, there's probably going to be a problem in this area. Or if you had a problem in the GitHub, you'll try to get those problems solved sooner than later.
Right.
Right. And that experience of going through that makes you just that much better next time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Because you're kind of allowed to, I guess, make some of those mistakes without being fired at this point.
Yeah.
It's a good
Hopefully.
Right.
Right. So yeah, learning from mistakes is extremely valuable. Not that you guys made mistakes, right? You had problems, because things will never go perfectly. I don't think I've ever seen a project group go perfectly. Right? A lot of times my qualification is, did you get to the end and you're still alive? Awesome. You haven't murdered each other. Cool. We're successful. Right? The fact that you made some cool software on the side, that's the bonus.
Yeah.
And you guys did do a great job. I want to say that from myself. I am very, pleased and very fascinated. I mean, even getting to see the code and what you guys had not working, anything. It was mind blowing. Because could you imagine if all that did come together and all that did work for you guys, what this would look like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what
So please don't sell yourselves short, because it is far from that. You guys did an amazing job with all of this and working together. That's probably, if I can say, and I don't know how many of you would agree with me, in working in a group. There may or may not have been times where you guys all agreed all the time, and there may have been disagreements, but you guys pulled it together and you got and put this together. So don't take away anything from that. I offer tons of congratulations, for what you guys have done, and just seeing this and the potential that I know is here, and hearing from Ammon and what Ammon has added to this, and the struggles that you guys have faced. I mean, again, that's how I learn, making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I was married a month ago, and when we were engaged in going through the wedding process, I did a website for us. And I just couldn't believe everything that I ran into. But eventually I launched it and got it to where I had our registry on there. Our guests could RSVP on there. I put pictures of us, going through things, engagement photos, visiting the venue, talking about and, putting together, what we were going to serve as, the dinner that evening. Anybody wanted to do song requests, or different things, they wanted to see at weddings from ones that they've been at. But that took me some time to put together. But once it was done, I was very, very happy.
You had me worried for a second there. You're like, I've made many mistakes. I got married last month. Like, no. And then you went to the software side and everything came back.
Yep, perfect. I'm glad I brought you back around. You guys, thank you so very much. Team Tasty, love the name. I see where it came from now. I appreciate that. I want to hear from each one of you from the group that are here with us, please. Tell me why, what brought you to Woz U, and now that you've graduated and you've made it through your final project and, it's been demonstrated and shown to everybody, what are your goals?
Let's see. What brought me to Woz U? I was actually kind of cold called by a lady like 2.5 years ago, because I was actually looking to get into a coding camp for at least 5 years now, and I just wasn't sure which route to take because I knew a lot of them were still really expensive, and Woz U kind of seemed to fit the bill because that was like the first one that didn't seem to cost as much as a regular 4-year college. Plus, I had just gotten laid off from my job about 4 years ago. I was working in the world's largest oil refinery out in Southeast Texas, and once I got laid off, I wound up moving to Austin to get into the tech scene. I just wasn't sure how I was going to break into it at the time. But much like Mr. Felix before us, I wound up driving rideshare for 2.5 years, and now I work as an auto parts distributor here in Austin. And so now, after like I mentioned, I worked in big oil, and it's a very boomer bust kind of life cycle in that, because you're only drawing a paycheck as long as you're employed, and that's only as long as they need you. It's almost like a contractor type basis. And so, like, once a project comes to an end, they just lay everybody off, and everyone's just kind of living on unemployment, until the next big thing comes along. And that's a harsh lifestyle, let me tell you. And I wanted to break away from that and get into tech because I love technology, and I also wanted something more stable. So for me, this is all about stability.
Ray, thank you.
Well, as far as with me, I've always liked programming. I went to school several years ago at a local university up here. I'm from South Carolina, upstate Greenville, and I've always liked to do coding. And a few years ago, I was introduced to Iron Yard. I don't know if any of y'all have heard that, but
oh yeah,
they had a facility up here, and I was invited to attend a class meeting, and I went, and that really did ignite my hunger again for coding, because I was out of it for a while. I currently work in manufacturing for a subcontractor for BMW, and but when I went to that meeting, it really did reignite that that passion for wanting to do coding again. But unfortunately, about 6 weeks after that, Iron Yard had shut its doors. So I was like you, Ray, looking around and online and stuff, looking at different coding camps and stuff like that. And I stumbled upon Woz U, and I did my research for a little while, and I started back up last year in April. And but I really enjoyed it, the everything that I've learned up to this point. And even with the things that I've learned, it's like even with this project, it showed me how much I don't know. Oh, yeah. And it also ignites me to learn even more, to better myself. for like, I want to continue to learn cloud computing, AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Cloud. And I want to continue to learn Angular, JavaScript. You know, I want to hone my skills and, you know, get better at it. And I realized that the only way you can get better at it is you can keep on practicing it. You know, just doing code and keep coding and keep coding, and fail as you learn, you know, and not be afraid to fail as you learn. So making mistakes and learning how to do things differently. That will motivate me, because I want to do a complete career change, you know, and I would rather do something that I love to do instead of something that I have to do.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I came to Woz U because, like Donn and Ray, I was also, well, I was looking for a career, not a career change, but I grew up outside of Austin, and I grew up around computers, like, especially during the MySpace days, like, I made layouts, and so I thought, you know, coding would be something that I would want to get into. I just needed a way to do that, you know. I knew that learning it by myself, I wouldn't have the motivation and discipline on like a daily basis to get started in learning all of this. But now that I have like a grip, I know that I'll be able to go on and keep learning. Because this experience has been like making this project, like they said, you know just what you don't know and where to go looking for it. And yeah, I'm just looking to get hired at one of these places in Austin that are all moving in. So that's what I plan on doing after this.
We are definitely here to help you.
Awesome.
You know, myself, Andrew, Brendan, we're all here for you. So, you know, make sure, you know, if you see us reaching out, you know, get back with us, because we do want to help, you know, building your resume, fine-tuning your resume, tweaking your resume, whatever it takes.
Yes,
we are definitely here for you guys.
I've been meaning to reply to you. I read it. I just, like, this project has just consumed my life.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna you know, give you that little bit of leeway, but now it's done, so yep. I expect to hear back from you.
Yep, and I actually did get my shift covered, so I don't have to go to work after this. I can sit down and fill everything in. Get back to you this afternoon. So.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Nice. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And Brandon, are you still on with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Tell us why you chose Woz U and what your plans are now.
Oh, well, I guess well, basically, it all started with my stepdad. He actually knew a friend who works at Woz U with you guys, and I guess my stepdad and I were thinking about doing the program together, and we were just going through a lot of complications, like just trying to get like the financial aid going and everything, and he couldn't do it, so I was the only person who was like qualified to do it. And I wasn't very interested at this program at first because I had no interest in coding. Sorry about that. I had no interest in it at all. So in the first month, I'd say it was like pretty difficult because I was not interested at all. Like my grades were dropping so bad, and I had to resubmit so many assignments last year, and it really took a toll on me because I was like kicked out of school for 6 weeks, and I really had to like get myself together because I really had other passions that I wanted to do. And as soon as the year was up and coming down to this project, I actually did pull myself together. And the program made it happen a lot because I was really, really interested now because I made this into a passion also. And I actually plan on taking this into the military with me because I do have a career that I want to do in Marine Corps. And I really plan on doing cybersecurity next after this. And this point on, I mean, with Ray, Donn, Ashley, it's been a great team. We knew each other as individuals at the beginning of this month, and couldn't ask for a better team.
That is definitely good to hear.
Yeah,
these guys help a lot. So they helped me learn. That's definitely all you guys did.
Well, that's what teamwork is all about, and building that friendship, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
you have to.
Definitely.
Because even though you guys may have been hours apart or states apart, it's still, it takes that time and the coordination and everything. Again, I think you guys did a fantastic job, jumping over the hurdles that were thrown in front of you as you were running along, to just, putting together what you did and just being able to explain exactly, the things that you guys did, and then explain exactly what you wanted to do and show us everything that you had. Ammon backed that up and did a great job doing that. So I could almost visualize exactly what it is that you guys had set to do, throughout this entire process here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's actually absolutely been my pleasure in talking with you guys, and I'm looking forward to, and I'll say, and also say we are looking forward to working with you and talking with you all. So from on behalf of the career services team, Woz U, your instructors, thank you guys very much for being here, and everybody, all of our guests, with all the questions. If you guys haven't, if you've noticed, take a peek at the chat. There are some great messages over there that, it's always nice to read.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Please, 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 keep in contact with us. We are here to help you. We made a promise to you when we originally enrolled you in the program that we're going to work with you in helping you get a job. So it takes a team to do that. So we can't do that by ourselves. We need you guys to be on board with us. Felix, including yourself and anybody else, upcoming graduates. Jennifer, like I said, is online. She's one of our ambassadors and getting ready to graduate soon. We're here to help each and every one of you. So we're looking forward to doing all that with you. And congratulations to all the groups today that presented. And if there aren't any other questions, you are all free to go. Best of luck to you with everything, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we will be in contact with you all very soon.
All right.
And likewise, because I plan on, hopefully this week I want to try and set up a mock interview with you, if possible.
Do the HR or the tech?
I'm not sure.
So I can help you with the HR side of it, and that goes for everybody.
Okay.
If you want to schedule the mock tech interview, talk about, the more technical side, I definitely would reach out to Andrew. He is online here. He's Andrew.Antilla, Antila, at Woz-U. And then, of course, Ammon. You can reach any of them on Slack, myself on Slack. But those would be two of the people that I would recommend for the tech interview side of it.
Okay, cool.
Brendan's available, like myself, to help you with the HR side of it. If for some reason I'm not available, I think each and every one of you who are on with us have my Calendly link.
Yeah.
So if not, let me know. Send me a message on Slack or email me, and I'll send you guys my link, and we can set up a time to do whatever it is that we need to do.
Good deal. So I'm kind of curious, because I didn't know there was an HR side of this stuff. I can understand how the tech interview would go. How does the HR interview typically go?
It's gonna be that interview, when we sit down or talk, on the phone. If we do a Slack, if we do a FaceTime, or if we do the Zoom, to where we're just talking to each other. It's the company getting to know you.
Okay.
Type of thing. The normal questions, nothing, no whiteboarding, no debugging, no putting code, on a tablet or a laptop and, making something work that they ask you to do.
Right.
To where, you'll need to learn and know some things about whiteboarding and all that, on the tech side of it. But the interview process is definitely something I like to talk about, because it isn't short. in this industry and the tech side of everything, I can definitely say that I would expect, or that you should expect, 3 to 4 interviews.
Right.
Ammon, if you're still on board with us,